Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rich, and I'm here with Aaron from Sega.
Hello there.
And we are here to take a look at Sonic Lost World. Obviously, you guys already saw the trailer. You guys saw plenty of details, but we're going to walk you through 3 distinct stages. First, starting Windy Hill, and then we're going to do Desert Ruins and Desert Ruins 2. So let's take a look at Windy Hill here. So you've seen the trailer. You've seen some basic details in our write-up, but we wanted to really just show you gameplay and kind of walk you through it. So, Aaron, first things first. Sonic, you've slowed him down, actually, a little bit. Tell me a little bit about that.
We have just a little bit, and that's because, you know, a lot of times in previous Sonic games, you'd have such a great sense of speed, but you'd have almost no control. And so there's all these people saying, man, I love going fast, but I hate when I slam into that wall, or I fall off the edge, or I just can't see it coming in time. So we're giving the player the choice over their speed now. So when I walk around, if I'm just walking around normally, this is the speed I go at. And that's the walk speed. Now, if I hold down the right trigger, then I move into run speed, and that's when we can go a lot faster. And finally, if you're like a Sonic fan, if you really know the level, you hold down the left trigger, and that takes you into Spin Dash, which is a nice, returning, iconic move, and we blaze through the level at that speed.
Nice. So, I mean, as you're blasting through this and kind of taking out all the enemies, the gameplay, I mean, you know, when we saw Generations was old school 2D level, and then that same idea, but in modern 3D. You guys are actually mixing it up a bit and doing both basically at the same time in the same level, is that right? That's
right. And in fact, in this level, I can go essentially underneath the level, and this is a completely different path. So in this first part right here, there are 4 different ways that I can go. And traditionally in Sonic games, you've got your high, your medium, your low paths. Sonic fans will be excited to see that there are many multiple paths here that you can take. In addition to that, we've added the parkour system. So the parkour system is used whenever you're running into obstacles. So for example, this tree. If I were to run into this tree normally in a different Sonic game, I would lose all my speed. I just do a dead stop. But here, we'll run up the tree just like that, grab that red star ring. So that's a really nice new feature.
That's pretty cool. So, I mean, and the idea is that, I mean, some fans will go, oh, man, I don't want the game to play for my, you know, play it for me. So how do I determine when I'm parkouring, when I'm not parkouring? Like, how much of that is automated and how much of it is actually, like, skill-based?
Yeah, that's entirely up to you. So if you're walking at normal speed, you won't do the parkour. Okay. If you hold down the run button, you will. So that's totally up to the player.
And you're not going to, like, scale up, like, giant hillsides, right? I mean, there's still, like, I mean, it helps you overcome smaller obstacles so that you don't lose momentum, but you're still, like, doing platforming and basic maneuvering and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's not an easy win.
He's not going to jump over this or anything crazy like that.
With the parkour.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right, so tell me, I mean, so we're talking about multiple paths and everything. You're kicking this bell around here. What's going on with this bell?
This bell, if I can hit it enough times, and this part's a little tricky, I gotta stop. Perfect. If I hit this enough times, it turns into a red star ring. The red star ring, Sonic fans will recognize because those are from Sonic Colors initially. Those are collectibles, and they unlock stuff as you go through the game. So
nice, and it's a set 5 per level.
Yeah, 5 in every level, exactly.
Awesome. Now, I mean, we were talking a little bit about running around the sides of levels, and, you know, these levels are really, really crazy. And, I mean, I'm sort of used to more like, okay, you know, Windy Hills is like a foresty, plains kind of thing or whatever. But these levels are just more bizarre and eclectic and abstract. Is that kind of the approach for all the levels within Lost World?
In a certain way, yeah. And it's kind of cool because a lot of Sonic levels, you know, historically have had these really crazy themes to them. And you're going to see that as we go through the second level in particular. So right here, for example, this is an alternate path. There's another path I could have taken, but I like the clouds. So we can bounce around here and grab rings as we're going through.
Nice.
The next level we'll take a look at is actually completely candy themed. So if you're like me and you have a massive sweet tooth, you are going to love the next level.
Nice.
But, I mean, all of Sonic's levels traditionally have had really cool themes, and we wanted to really expand upon that. In particular, in Lost World, as you're going through maybe the desert zone, right, we're going to show you 2 levels from the desert zone, but they're both completely different. So instead of having like 3 levels that all look maybe reminiscent of Green Hill in cases like this, you're going to see 3 levels that are all very, very unique, and that's fun.
Awesome.
So right here, I'm taking an alternate path. I could have just fallen down there and taken the spring. This is one of the gold little cannons, little reference for the Sonic fan. That one's for you.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys have like worked in a lot of references to all of the Sonic games, from like you know, the red coins like you were mentioning from Colors, but also just down to the small details. I think you were telling me earlier actually, like his run animation is from a very specific game.
That's right. It's the super peel out from Sonic CD, that little figure 8 thing that you see going on there.
Right.
And we brought back stuff beyond that. This is a kick attack, so I've got 2 different attacks. I can homing attack, but these snails, I need to kick them, and that'll wipe them out instantly if I kick them versus the homing attack. And this guy, this is the laser wisp from Sonic Colors. Fans will recognize that. By tapping the gamepad, I can activate the wisp, and then I slide the finger. just like that, and I can use the whisk.
things.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and that's actually a great point that you bring up. It's just that, I mean, so this is obviously exclusive to Nintendo platforms, so fans will see it on Wii U, which is obviously what you're seeing here, as well as 3DS, which you'll be able to see footage of on IGN at the same time. So when you're done watching this, go watch the 3DS footage. But, so I mean, in terms of the gamepad, oh, actually, we're about to finish this stage here. So the gamepad is used primarily to activate your color powers, and then you not only select them and activate them, but execute them.
That's right. So
commands.
you'll be tapping, you'll be tilting, you'll be sliding. Like you pretty much use the gamepad to interact with the different color powers.
Awesome. All right. So now we're actually. So this is the E3 demo. That's why you're seeing the start screen again. So we're going to go into Desert Ruins 2.
Whoops.
Oh.
Or we're going to go back. You guys want to see it again? We can see it again. No, we'll jump back out. We'll take a look at Desert Ruins 2.
No problem.
So this one, like I said, is going to be candy themed. It's one of my favorite ones from the 3 levels we've got, and I know a few people at this point are already thinking to themselves, "Man, you know, if it's slower, is it necessarily lesser than like Sonic Generations?"
Sure.
And for you guys, sit tight because whenever we show you level 3, I think that's going to satisfy a lot of what you're looking for.
Now, what I thought was really cool, because we've seen this footage before as we were sort of preparing the last feature on Sonic. It's pretty different from the level we just saw. Like the actual construction of it, not just the theme. I mean, obviously you see donuts floating in the background. Clearly, it's different in that respect. But the mixture of 2D and 3D is a lot different. This is just 2D straight up.
Yeah, exactly.
But you guys, like, every level is slightly different. I mean, even in the third one we're going to see in a little bit is completely different than this one, which was different from the last one.
Yep.
This one actually reminds me just of much more straightforward 2D. Classic Sonic feel, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And we get to use the homing attack here, you know, which is something that you could upgrade in Generations, but it's really nice, I think, here to get that sort of like the classic feel. And I'm actually going to slow it down right here. I'm not going to run as I make this jump, because that gives me that precision platforming I needed to land that.
That was always sort of you know, that could be a really tricky thing with you know, some of the past Sonic games. Like, I'm going really fast and I can't control my jump,
and then it's like I miss it and then I'm dead, and it's kind of frustrating when it's like instant death. So it's nice to have that. Here's like the favorite cookie section of this stage. There's a little secret here that I'm gonna show off. So if you're playing this at E3, you get a little tip here.
Now everyone at E3 is gonna just be like a pro at Sonic.
I know, they'll know exactly.
The developers are gonna be like, "Man, we made the game too easy. We need to like make this a lot harder." It's like, "No, guys, they're watching IGN. It's okay."
Grab all the rings.
Yeah,
all right.
exactly.
And there's a red star ring there too. So.
All right. So what secret are you getting here? Is this?
All right. So this was an alternate path I just took. We're skipping a whole section of the level, and we're gonna drop down right here. There we go. Our little candy loop-de-loop.
Nice.
So just like the old Sonic games, lots of different paths we can take, and that's very fun. Here I get to bounce on the truffles. Yeah,
truffles
they're actually dangerous truffles. You don't want to get hit by these truffles. Apparently.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I've seen you. I mean, you can get clocked pretty good by these things.
You can.
There's actually, I think we're coming up on it, but there's like a much larger gauntlet of them. Or did you bypass that?
Yes, at the end. No, at the end you're going to see a massive gauntlet. Right here. So you can collect the animals, right? You save these little animals, but it's a really big focus in Lost World, which is nice. So there's a little capsule. Save those guys.
Yeah.
Lose a few rings and grab them back. And those animals that we collect, we are going to get a running total of those guys as we go through the level. So that's
so
going to build up.
It's not just like something to do. Like there's actually things you unlock and
there's a purpose. That's right. That's right. And so you'll have a running total of animals that you save. So when you beat a level, you get animals. When you destroy badniks, you get animals. And when you find those little capsules, you save even more.
Nice. So the not only are the animals used for unlockables, the red star coins are used for unlockables or red rings, whatever. And are there any other secrets unlockable? I mean, obviously multiple paths. That's quite a bit.
Those are the primary ones that we're discussing right now.
Yeah.
So right here, here's one of the levels where we get to bounce on the truffles.
There we go.
We can go all the way up and get red rings. There's actually another secret over here. All right, last secret, I promise. So right here, we're just, you know, I've had enough of life. I'm just going to jump to my death right about now. There we go. And there's a little cannon there.
Nice. That's awesome.
And so we'll just grab all those rings and get through. And at this point, I think the dev team is like, "What are you doing? Stop showing up."
Yeah, I know, right?
Stop that.
That's spoilers.
Yeah, so now we're going to bounce up the truffles. 2 paths we can go. We can go to the right, a little bit easier, but I'm going to go to the left because there's a red star ring over there.
Trying to be a daredevil. Game's punishing.
All I need is one ring.
Game's like, oh, you tried to show off, and now look what happens.
It's like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oof, there we go. Okay. So you can tell them when to climb up those. So it's kind of nice in the sense that if you want to grab onto the ledge, if you want to bounce over, you can, but you don't have to. So here we go.
Oh, nice.
All right, let's try and get this. I'm actually going to take the right path, I think, just because these truffles are loving me right now.
Interest of time, I suppose.
I know, yeah. I want to show you guys that third level, so right here. We can bounce up there, grab that, and then there's our capsule of animals right there. And the little sparkles and the little emblems that popped up there, nice little reference for the old fans. Recognize that. And there's our animal totals too.
Nice.
So one more level.
So let's cover off on the story, because I know that's something you guys are staying a little bit mysterious about.
Yeah.
You obviously saw that teaser image there in the background for the Thanks for Playing screen, which you guys teased a while back. But you got some new enemies, some new faces in there. Tell me a little bit about these guys.
So they're called the Deadly Six, and those are all new bosses that you're going to be fighting within Sonic Lost World. And we've shown them off a little bit with the teaser image that you guys probably saw
in the trailer.
Facebook. That's right. In the trailer, you saw them.
Yep.
So it's still a little bit early for us to tell you about them, but we find them very exciting because, you know, I think as Sonic fans, as people that have played a lot of Sonic games, you fought Dr. Eggman quite a bit, right?
Sure.
Over and over and over. So it's nice to have a whole new set of enemies to fight, and that's what the Deadly Six offers. So
nice.
Stay tuned for that. Now, here's the level I was talking about. It very, very different right here.
Yeah.
Sonic is running at
full speed.
Yeah, pretty much full speed, and I can't stop him right now. So we are focused on dodging the walls and on running through and navigating this honeycomb, grabbing the rings as we go along. And this is more like a Generations, looking, or at least themed level versus the other ones, much faster.
I wanted to bring up one thing, because we were talking about the gamepad a little bit earlier. But so you guys aren't just limiting it to actually the color powers, but there's a support mode. Tell me about support mode.
That's right. I actually can't tell you any of the specific details just yet. You'll want to stay tuned.
Damn you.
You almost
But I mean,
got
the idea is that you're using a Wii remote.
But that's
as an
right. So
assist.
sort of in the same way that in the old days, my little brother would play as Tails in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and he would back me up. You can have a second player support you via support mode in Sonic Lost World.
Cool.
It's very exciting. So there's both a competitive two-player mode and there's the support mode.
Okay. And then you mentioned you just actually brought up the idea of, like, in the past we'd play as Tails or whatnot.
Yep.
So some of Sonic's friends and allies, long friends and allies are in this game, but you can't play as them. Tell me how do we see Knuckles or Tails or some of those guys in this?
You'll see Tails and Knuckles in the cutscenes. You'll see Amy in the cutscenes. You're not going to see many of Sonic's other friends beyond that. So we've kind of tried to focus on
just
that key group. Yeah, so you play only as Sonic, and then you'll be seeing the other characters get their time in the spotlight as you go through the story.
Awesome. And with that, and this giant green face...
That's right.
We are actually out of time. So thanks very much for showing the game, Aaron.
Thanks very much for having us.
And thanks for all of you watching out there. And for more on Sonic Lost World, stay tuned to IGN.